Audio Jungle.
తర్వాత మీరే రెండింటిని యాడ్ చేయాలి.
డిజిటల్ అంతా
మిక్సింగ్ చేయి. ఒక సెకండ్ అయిపోతుంది. మీరు వెనక్కి రండి, చేయొస్తుంది.
Arts, Education and Law and MA in Political Science. We welcome you, sir. I now invite our co-chair, Dr. Samira Nazim ma'am, onto the dais. Ma'am is Assistant Professor, Department of Political Science from Rasapur Government Degree College. She has a wide experience in teaching and publishing. We welcome you, ma'am. Now, with this, the theme of session is One Nation and One Election. I also request our special guest, Dr. Konna Nageshwar sir, Vice Principal, University College of Arts and Social Sciences, to join the session. I now request the chair to continue the prayer proceedings. I'm now reading out the names. The theme of the session is One Nation, One Election, Constitutional Design. Participants are Mr. Kalpindi Vinodra, Ms. Pomroju Sucharita, Ms. A. Anjum Sultana, Mr. Bosaka Nagaraju, Ms. Koran Rajita, Dr. S. Swarup Sirpangi Rose, Ms. Sonu Trivedi, Dr. Zahida Begum, Dr. Vaishakhi Kavita, Dr. Kopula Mallesham, M. Shravani, okay. Ms. Priyanka, please join the stage. Giving out the names of session 5B, Dr. Ninavad Balu Naik, Mr. P. Shanmugam, Mr. Chella Shivaprasad, Dr. Chelloju Josna, Dr. B. Santosh Kumar, Mr. D. Suresh, Dr. Someshwar Bodapurti, Ms. T. Priyanka,
She's here.
okay. Dr. Parankusham Mukesh, Dr. H. Vagishanan Satyaprasum,
He's also chair.
I'm chairing. I will also have something that we do. Is one of the
I also
we have 35 odd minutes to do, and I'm delighted a little bit and also tired out both. Thank you to the Department of Political Science, Professor Krishna Kumar and the team to giving me this opportunity. It's a homecoming for me. We've been working at our university, and please make a note of one thing. This topic which we are going to talk about, the One Nation, One Elections thing, all your inputs can go till 31st of March Joint Parliamentary Committee. I will leave the Joint Parliamentary Committee's email ID with the organizers. Whosoever is interested, you can write back on the bills which are there. So before me forgetting things and all that, let me tell you that. Briefly, for a minute or so, I will focus on this question. The logic, especially the One Nation, One Elections bill is talking about is this. It is telling that number one, there is a huge economic cost of conducting elections. So, elections at every stage and all that requires lots of resources. That's one argument which is being put forward. So there is an economic burden of conducting elections. And the second logic which is forwarded in the intent of the bill is the Achar Samhita, or what you call as the code of conduct, election code which comes in. Operation of election code is stalling processes. This is the second aspect. So these two fundamental aspects are being put forward. One is the economic logic, the other is stalling development. And these two logics are put forward, and it is told one nation, one election can be an answer. But we are at 6 and how exactly, because these ideas are
at the national level. While observing so, as the chair also observed, that since 2010 onwards, this issue has been coming to the forefront repeatedly, and the commissions and others also pinpointed that even previous 1980s also the commission recommended for this one nation, one election concept are conducting simultaneous elections to the Lok Sabha and state assembly elections. From this background, I developed this paper into various themes like why the delay of simultaneous elections happen in India, and what are the conditions recommended for conduct of simultaneous elections. How to understand the BJP stance with regard to BJP was basically known previously who have been observing the Indian political process as anti-constitution of India, or BJP was pro to change the constitution, or BJP leaders like L.K. Advani were in favor of presidential form of democracy. Now BJP changed its stance and started to embrace the Constitution of India, and the Prime Minister started to symbolically bow before the Constitution also. So the BJP stance from anti-constitution to pro-constitution is there, and within the stance of a pro-constitution, this paper highlights why the BJP regime is tilting towards again change of constitution in another mode. In another sense, BJP is not arguing now change of constitution, but BJP is changing amendment of the constitution. What kind of amendment of the constitution? BJP was previously inclined towards presidential form of the government, but through various judicial methods, presidential form of government cannot be established in India because the basic structure of it is there as envisaged and established by the Supreme Court of India. Hence, BJP started to say pro-constitutional attitude, yet it wants to bring a presidential.
Thank you for all giving me this opportunity.
Has some emergency to go. I request him to come and provide his insights on this specific topic. Nageshwara is my good friend, and then who looks into these issues. He is none the deeper consciousness of these questions. Thank you. I want Nageshwara to introduce.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. At the outset, my sincere thankfulness to the Department of Political Science, Usman University, for inviting me to co-chair this session as Professor Ragesh involved in the session. Now we are at the crossroads, we all know. And as the teacher of English literature, I should not say that because you are from Political Science Department. I was the student of Political Science and I did my bachelor's degree with Political Science was an option, and as he said, a close association with the social movements and all. And my impressions about one nation and one election. And one, as he said, rightly mentioned, these days, some different layers of meanings to nationalism, patriotism, and everything. And the political thinkers, here in this August gathering, I should request you that as part of the academics, every day we
negotiate, we discuss, and we interact with many people about many things. And I must tell you the fact that before we open the discussion, we say something, we share something with others, and we always talk about this country's sovereignty, this country's socialist, republic, democratic, and sovereignty, and the preamble clearly mentioned. And now, as he mentions, one of our Swarup, Dr. Swarup also mentioned about why this is happening in the country, why suddenly the political atmosphere of this country is at the crossroads, one side, and why sudden political discussions have been taking place, and the new definitions, probably Oxford and universities, they have to rethink about the definitions of the nationalism and patriotism and all. See, dissent is very common. If you don't have the acceptance with the opinion, that doesn't mean that you are something against the democracy and all. But these days it becomes very passion and saying the anti-nation and all. See, we are we are well aware of the facts that are going on in the country. When the BJP government came to the power, the center, and everything is, they are trying to throw everything on the states. The basic principle of state and central relationships became a danger threat in the context of NAP 2020. If you look at the language policy, and they're talking something and they are acting something. There is policies, and also they want to modify the basic structure of the constitution. I'm sure it is not a political statement, or it's not a paradox. If the same government comes to the power next time, definitely the democracy, the basic form of the democracy of this country, definitely it will not be same like what we have today. And one election, and the same thing that I must tell you. Last month I went to North India, where I was fortunate enough to meet many of the colleagues and good friends. There was an enormous discussion about the one nation, one election. The faculty members who are teaching get many central universities, not all central universities. They are talking about the great thing like one nation, one election, we are Indian and all. Unity and diversity is something, it is always a negotiation, it is always a discourse. The diversity is a fact in this country, but unity is, sometimes it looks like a myth. And when we talk about the unity, please don't misunderstand me that I am not talking against anything. Unity about this country, like from the Indus Valley civilization to these days, unity is always, something different from the fact. The diversity nature, and now there is a lot of mispropaganda going on the food habits of this country and people's culture and various things, and they don't want to see the plurality, constitutional plurality and the constitutional morality have become very dangerous. They are facing a dangerous threat at the present times. That is why the Department of Political Science has taken the right theme. Talking about reimagining these states and relationships, and also one nation, one election theory. And you are from the Department of Political Science, and most of the relevant faculty members and scholars here. Every day we have to rethink and re-understand the things. Then only we can take what is good and what is bad. If you don't know the true spirit of the ideas, true spirit of the slogans, definitely we will be confused. So that be aware of the beautiful slogans and beautiful things going on in the country. This is a democratic country. The largest democratic country can be sustained by the diversity. This diversity is the beauty of this country. Structure of the diversity. If you forget the basic structure of the country, definitely India would be something different. And as the activists of the civil society and thinkers of this country, and we must be cautious, and we don't want to see many Gauri Lankeshas. Now, we don't want to lose the Gauri Lankesh. We have to see our many Gauri Lankesh in the society. It is our collective responsibility to stand with them and to protect the beautiful values of this society. Thank you.
Dr. Chalamala Venkateshwar sir to felicitate, and Dr. Ravi sir to felicitate our Vice President. Thank you, sir, for giving us your time and making all this.
Shravani to put the correction of ideas.
Respected Chairman, Chairperson, distinguished delegate, professors, and my fellow participants, good afternoon, everybody who are present here. My name is Shravani, and I completed my MA Political Science in Osmania University, currently working as lecturer in St. Peter's College, Turkey. Now, my topic is on one nation, one election, assessing the feasibility and implications in India. India proudly calls itself the largest democracy in the world. Every few months, in some part of the country, elections are held, conducted, Lok Sabha, state assemblies, panchayats, municipal democratic vibrancy. It also raised an important question. Is our democracy overburdened by constant elections? This question brings me to the topic of presentation today. One nation, one election, assessing the feasibility and implications in India. To begin with, one nation and one election simply means synchronizing elections to the Lok Sabha and legislative assemblies so that they are held at the same time or within fixed and a limited period. It does not make one. Federalism thrives on political diversity, regional representation, and also state autonomy. So, moving ahead, India needs an inclusive political dialogue and constitutional safeguards and gradual and phased implementations and pilot testing before full adoption. I have to conclude with this. To conclude, one nation, one election is either a magic solution or not a democratic threat by default. It is an institutional reform proposal that offers efficiency and stability but also demands cautious consensus and constitutional care. Thank you.
Thank you, Shravani. Thank you for your elaborate pros and cons kinds of giving and all that. So we have 8 minutes of time we have. If anybody would like to raise a question or two, the floor is open. We can take at least 1 or 2 questions on this.
Questions, sir? Yeah. I think the issue has been, discussed thoroughly. Otherwise, it's not possible to, discuss the pros and cons of one nation, one election. I think what has missing is that it is also a big task for the parties to deal with. For example, recently, 1 month back, less than 1 month, of course, we had election to the, panchayat. Now, in a short time, the parties have to think of, the municipal thing all over the state. And expenditure for it's a task in terms of mobilization and so on. And also it's difficult to manage the funds for dealing with. So this from this view, I think the time that is devoted for the frequent elections by the political parties could be reviewed. So, and I think, this from the viewpoint of the political parties also, this issue has to be considered. Thank you. It's a comment rather.
This election cost is one of the much highlighted issue. In my view, if one nation, one election concept is brought to the forefront and materialized, the political parties are going to be on beneficial foot. Because due to frequent elections, the political parties are saying that the country is incurring a lot of expense. But in reality, by proposing one nation, one elections, the political parties will incur less expenditure. So, it is the duty of the country to conduct in parliamentary democracy whenever that is the logic, principle, and inherent ethic of the parliamentary democracy. By spoiling that inherent theoretical framework of the parliamentary democracy and moving forward towards one nation, one election, the political parties are trying to regulate their expenditure.
Hello, sir. So I have a question. So it's a simple question. Will of the people, like so. Can you go through that, like so that will of the people actually is being reflected through political expression. So then, why we are actually looking at economic burden or even resources and all? So these are completely real issues. Like, so the democracy is being survived only through the will of the people through the political expression. Like that is completely ignored. Like so one election, one what is the nation? So these are what these things actually what exactly undermine the will of the people. Like that is what exactly I just wanted to actually ask that ingredient, and she's glorifying one nation and one elections. Then how do you look at like political theory actually? Because this is completely economic and all the other stuff. But what about like real theory actually? What is it substantial? Substantive. I mean,
Please take your point and we'll take it.
Of the Political Sciences University, and at the same time, I'm thankful to the department for giving me this opportunity. So, this session topic was One Nation, One Election and Indian Federation. I congratulate all the participants who presented their papers. Really, it was insightful. And the first participant, Dr. Swarup, he spoke about this in this, and he highlighted the causes of delay and the recommendation of the committees, and was a critical appraisal. Second participant, Priyanka, she highlighted on Indian federalism, and she spoke about the consequences of one nation, one election. It was insightful. And next, Sravani, she has given all the details of the feasibility and the possibility or the implication of the one nation and one election, and she highlighted the history from the beginning. She highlighted and she said that it is not new for India, and she has given a broad appraisal of the topic. And so, I think all of the participants have done their duties very well. With these remarks, I formally conclude this session. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
Sir, to felicitate the chair and co-chair.
Actually, I'm not glorified the one nation, one election, first of all. And also, it's not a new thing for the India. It's already there from the beginning of the constitution. Just due to the interruptions, it was spoiled. And actually, India was not a developed country. First of all, I mentioned the pros and cons of the one nation, one election. I'm not stick to the pros only. And also, India is an emerging country, so obviously we have to consider the economic stability and development of the India. So that's why it was 80% of the existing polls are supported one nation, one election. So that's why I said more about the pros than the cons. I'm not telling the point.
We'll continue in the tea.
I request Lisa to join. We also request.
Thank you, the chair and co-chair. He has gone away because he has work. Chair, co-chair, and all the participants. Paper present, sir. Thank you very much to all of you.
List of the states, list of states are those issues which were entrusted to them. You know the classic examples of education. It features in the concurrent list, but it almost became part of central government list with the implementation of NEP and all those things. We are not for or against NEP, but these are the issues where things are being enforced upon, where the things are being like encroached upon into each other's domain or territory. So I congratulate and I thank the organizers for envisioning this kind of topic and having a discussion between the intellectuals representing political science from across. The discussions will throw a light and will be useful for the policy makers to revisit our relations, center-state relations. Thank you all. I'd like to invite Dasari Ramadevi garu to speak on health, agriculture and disaster management as federal policy arenas. Dasari Ramadevi. Okay, Ramadevi madam is not there. Dr. Anita, same Dr. Dr. Anita.
Co-chairperson, convener, co-convener, esteemed faculty members and fellow participants, a very good afternoon to all. I am Dr. C. Anita, working as a degree lecturer in Mount Nagar in Social Welfare Degree College. So my topic is health, agriculture, disarmament as a federal policy arenas. So India is follow the federal system in government where powers as divided between the union government and state government. So the division of powers is clearly specified in the 7th schedule under the Indian Constitution, union list, state list and concurrent list. So health is a primary state subject. So what are the objectives of this study? To examine the constitutional and institutional framework governing health, agriculture and disaster management, to analyze center-state relations and coordinations in policy formulation and implementations, to access emerging policy initiatives and reforms in these sectors. So first one is health has a federal policy arenas. So health is a primary state subject. So health occupies a complex positions in India federal structure, while health and sanitation fall under the state list. So union government plays a crucial role in policy formation, funding and national programs, and that too in challenging such pandemic situations, malnutrition and non-communicable diseases. So for union government plays a role for the formulating national health policies, implementing the national programs like Ayushman Bharat, and second one is Pradhan Mantri Jan Arogya Yojana. These are the insurance schemes. It is the world largest insurance scheme. It is participated in the central level. So second one is agriculture as a federal policy arena. So agriculture is traditionally has been backbone of India's economy and a core state subject under the constitutions. So states responsible for land reforms, irrigations, agriculture markets and extension service. However, the union government is increasingly shaped agriculture policies through minimum support prices, subsidies, crop insurance schemes and national agriculture missions. Like policies like Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, soil health care schemes and Prime Minister Kisans. These are the some policies of the central government. So, and third one is disaster management as a federal policy arena. So, disaster management, it is the state and central government. So, for example, disaster management, national disaster management like earthquakes, floods, cyclones and droughts. These are the Disaster Management Act 2005. It is a marked a turning point of the disaster governance through the National Disaster Management Authority and State Disaster Authority and district level bodies. So these are all the disaster management share the responsibility where the union government provides policy directions, fundings and technical support. So what are the challenges of federal governance of these sectors? First of all, several challenges are there: overlapping jurisdictions, fiscal imbalances, political differences, lack of coordination mechanism. So I suggest that fiscal decentralization of empowered states for effective policy implementations. It is improve institutional capacity at the state level and local level. Promote the sharing, data sharing, transparency and policy coordination across the sectors. I conclude that India is a federal structure. So health, agriculture, disaster of just policy areas but core pillars of the Indian federal governance. It is implement the importance of these interstate cooperations. It is need for the policy coordination, the role of federalism in the role of the public. Okay, thank you.
Constituency delimitation after 2026, a challenge to the parliamentary representation of southern states.
Respected Chair, Co-Chair Sir, and HOD Krishnakumar Sir, and General Venkateshwari Sir, and my dear participants, good afternoon to everyone. My name is Dr. Jyoti. I'm working as a lecturer in Social Welfare Degree College, Manchiria. My topic is Constituency delimitation after 2026, a challenge to the parliamentary representation of the southern states. What is delimitation? Delimitation is the process of fixing the limits or boundaries of the territorial constituencies in a country. Our provinces have a legislative body. In India, delimitation commissions, commission or boundary commissions are given, started in the given in the 4 times. First under the Delimitation Committee Act 1952, after 1963, 1972, and lastly 2002 under the Delimitation Act. This was done in the 4 times, and now it is came to the spotlight. Why? Because the time with the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act, in the 84th Amendment Act, the time is over, and now it came to the spotlight in 2026. The time is complete, the restricted time is complete. So representation is based on the population is cornerstone of the democracy governance. If the number of constituencies is reasonable, the principle can be addressed in a way that brings the fairness with a distinct representation, something that democratic system aims for. However, India's regional diversity and social dynamic makes it tough to apply strict population-based sharing effectively. The free zone delimitation established by the 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act in 1976 and later extended by 84th Amendment Act 2001 sought to address the population control while also considering the political needs. With the free zone set expiring 2026, So that is the reason it was came back to the spotlight. Southern states like Tamil Nadu, Kerala, Karnataka, Telangana, Andhra Pradesh, which feature low birth rates because of the strictly adhere to the norms of the population control schemes by the central government. Human development indicators and better human indicator developments, and argue that basing the delimitation solely on the population could undermine their population influence, even though they have actively contributed to the national development. This paper will tackle the potential fallout of the delimitation process post 2026, particularly in relation to the India's federal democracy. So, objectives of this study discuss the constitutional basis and evolution of the parliament delimitation in India, and explore the regional democracy shift, and particularly in the southern state, identify the challenges faced by these southern state in relation to the delimitation after 2026, critically access to the effects of the delimitation on the federal balance of democracy equity. So, development of constituency delimitation in India. Looking to the constitutional provisions is clearly delimitation in India has evolved through the series of legal and policy changes. Article 82 and 170 of the Constitution specify that parliamentary constituencies should be reviewed periodically based on the latest general census. This review the aims of ensuring that population ratio to the number seat allocated in each area stay roughly unequal. Notably, delimitation Lok Sabha seats was put on the hold during the constitutional amendments in both 1976 and 2001. These amendments indicate the distinct policy directions, prioritizing the population control before ensuring the political stability. And in the period of 1952 to 71, according to the Article 82 and 170 period, these key features are periodical delimitation after the each census, population, and the result is population based on representation is ensured. And 76, with the Constitutional Amendment Act 42, freeze on Lok Sabha seat reallocation was done. With that, the political stability was prioritized. In the 2001 also, 84th Constitutional Amendment Act freeze on the extension still to the 2036. The result is protection state with the population control. And 2008 Delimitation Act Commission boundary readjustment with seat change, that territorially balance was maintained. And 26, the proposed delimitation likely seat redistribution renewed constitutional. It was renewed constitutional debate. Regional demographies, focusing on the South states. Finding
Dr. S. Venkatesh, Assistant Professor for Department of Public Administration, Isam College, Bashurba. When paper title is Digital Inclusion is a core aspect of India's national development strategy. The article examines the shift from the traditional methods to citizen-centric services delivery through e-governance and lays the foundation of a broader understanding of the digital inclusion in India's administrative reforms. These reforms strengthen digital infrastructure, promote timely governance, and increase citizens' access to digital resources. Initiatives such as Aadhaar, Digital Locker, OMA, and over 4 lakh people Where government services sector have significantly improved the service delivery to rural students and marginalized population. However, significant challenges remain. Approximately 40% of the population still lacks internet access, and issues related digital literacy, cyber security, and language processed. Research suggests that in addition, infrastructure, proactive ICT training program, and essential to develop skills and confidence among new users. While e-government has improved reduces corruption, achieving inclusive growth required, e-government has improved the initiality and reduced the corruption, achievement, inclusive growth requires additional resources for literacy initiatives. better data management and extension of mobile governance to the remote areas. Key digital inclusion, e-governance, digital India, digital divide and ICT literacy, citizen-centric governance, rural connectivity. Digital inclusion. The digital economy is expected to account for nearly 20% of India's GDP July 2025. This increased digital engagement has led digital had instead, recent statistics show that more citizens are using electronic platforms to access government programs and participate in local decision making, improving the economic and social. The fundamental of the principles of digital inclusion are the unified payment interface, direct benefit transfers, and digital government services among app, digital locker, and Bhashini. The rural connectivity and literacy, common service sectors, and the Pradhan Mantri Gramin Digital Sakshakarta Abhiyan. And my conclusion, by the end of 2025, Diksha digital infrastructure for knowledge sharing is expected to offer over 565 million educational lessons, while the Ayushman Bharat digital mission will link over 75 million, 75 million medical records in rural areas. Families like the Kumar's benefit from this initiative Diksha provide children with access to high quality educational materials home, and ABDM ensures quick access model medical records. These platforms only improve integrating education, integrating education, healthcare. For more information, see government reports, digital infrastructure services in rural area. And key results. Citizens' participation in transparency, massive scale and adoption, foundation for growth, growing challenges and future directions, digital skills gap initiative like PMG Disha, essential but may scale up to reach more rural adults, and particularly women and elderly. Language and accessibility. Most new users prefer local languages, requiring more content to be available in regional accessibility for the visually impaired. Those disabilities is also being addressed. User-centric design. Thank you so much for your political science convener, co-convener, and chairperson and co-chairman, and my all the students. Thank you so much for giving me opportunity. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Of this seminar, Krishna Kumar sir, co-convener Charamalla sir, and other faculty members of the department for giving me this opportunity to co-chair this particular technical session. And also, I would like to congratulate the department for organizing this seminar. This topic of this seminar includes 3 contemporary reasons for the rise of differences between central state. In the old days, Article 356, governors institution, etc. were the main reason for the differences between central state. But in the contemporary India, 2 important words incorporated in the title: delimitation, fiscal federation, and one nation, one elections. These are the contemporary issues, main reason for the rise of differences between central-state relations. So, in this seminar, the paper presenters discussed all these issues. So, coming to the particular technical session. I congratulate all 4 paper presenters. First one, Dr. C.H. Anita spoke on health, agriculture and disaster management. Dr. Anita highlighted health, agriculture and impact of disaster management and the role of central government in enacting laws and prepare the policies related to health, agriculture and the disaster management. She also explained the challenges of these all 3 sectors and also gave some suggestions. The second paper presenter, Dr. M. Jyoti, spoke on delimitation. Dr. Jyoti listed all delimitation acts after India's independence. The role of population or size of population in the delimitation, she has highlighted. The delimitation effect on southern states, population control. She also mentioned, compared the fertility rate between north and south, and she highlighted the importance of equal or balancing representation between north and south, because it leads to the imbalances between north and south. Then coming to third presenter, Dr. Y. Ravivardhan Garu, she spoke on the particular topic Krishna Godavari river water disputes, because the main reason for the differences between states are river water disputes. Its implication on cooperative federalism, as Gradwin Austin compared Indian federalism as cooperative federalism. She highlighted the tribunals, the importance of establishment of tribunals, and he quoted the Article 262, Interstate Disputes Councils, and he highlighted the Pachavat Tribunal, Rajesh Kumar Tribunal, needs to constitute of the tribunals, and he highlighted the important points in both tribunals, and also listed out some recommendations like permanent tribunals to solve the interstate water disputes, data sharing between the states related to the water flowing, and implementing and monitoring between the states related to water disputes. And coming to the last presenter, Dr. S. Venkatesh, Nizam College, on digital inclusion, a core aspect of India's national developmental strategy. He highlighted the impact of digital platforms in the present governance, listed the tools of digital transactions, and how India transformed into the digital era. Now we are in a digital era. So once again, I congratulate all the presenters and thank you for the opportunity. With this, I conclude the technical session.